Page 48, Highway to Home. In this lesson, they're talking about pop music or popular music. On page 47, they talk a little bit about some of the chords used in popular music. Let's take the key of C major, for instance. Generally, a lot of the rock music and popular music today, they just use the primary chords. It's sort of like blues uses primary chords. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. And they'll use these in various combinations, just going back and forth. Sometimes they stick in a 2 chord, and sometimes they stick in a 6 chord. And on page 47, they're talking about adding the 6th chord. So we have a 1 chord, then a 6 chord, then a 4 chord, G. And it makes a nice progression. And if I can play the notes right, that's generally the progression. And then that music on page 47, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. It's just a nice chord progression. And a lot of pop music will use this kind of thing. If you're interested in writing pop music, stick with those chords, mainly the 1, 4, and the 5 chord, and whatever key you're in. And then you can add a 2 and a 6 chord in occasionally. Let's look at this highway thingy and see what we got. It's a page long. It's bass and bass clef. They're both bass clef now, at least to start. 2 flats in the key signature, so it's either in B flat major or G minor. If we look at the end, it's here. That's a B flat chord, so I'm guessing we're in B flat major. However, go ahead and do the scales on our pages for B flat major and G minor, because G minor has 2 flats also. And then common time or 4/4 time. Again, I want to take it one hand at a time, make sure I got the notes all. We'll connect what we can. They say with pedal on this, I'll talk about that later. It's here. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. See, it's easier for me if I just start with a 1, 2, 3. That way I can do the top note that way. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Measure 4, make sure you hold the whole note down. Measure 7, 8th notes. 1. Yeah, I don't care for their fingering, but that's okay. You can use thumb here. And here I'm going to use 2nd finger for the B flat. Yeah, measure 8. And then here. So measure 12. Watch the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3. And I'm going to hold that. You got to hold that down. 1 and here. Until the last note, you got to play it again. But I do a 2 on that. They say a 1, and that's okay. That's okay. I just like to stay out here. So I do a 2 and use a thumb on a C here. Yeah. Next measure, there's a B flat, and that's a whole note. Hold it down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and see, I got 2 notes down. And then the last line around measure 21, A flats. The last 2 measures, they don't need the natural sign. It'd be a D natural anyway. But you just had a D flat. That's making sure make sure you play a natural here. That squiggly line, I'll talk about that a little bit. The left hand is just basically 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Watch the fingering. I like this fingering. It's pretty nice. Then I put the hands together and see 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and tricky there in the 4th measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and hold that F note down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The measure 7 is here. Now make sure somewhere in measures 7 and 8 in this, you're ready for measure 9 up here. So somewhere, I recommend a 5th finger somewhere. I mean, the repeated notes, you can do it at any time, so it's somewhere. Measure 13 here. 1 and 2 and. These go down together. 1 and 2. So there you've got 3 notes notes down because you're holding the B flat down. 1 and 2 and 3. So I'll put the hands together, and then I'll go back over it just a few measures at a time and get rid of the hesitations. No hesitations, I'll think about the articulation, and here it's fairly connected. You can't connect it. They're chord. You pretend you can. Lift up. And on measure 7 and 8, I suggest you slur all this together, but accent those notes. It's syncopation, and the left hand's playing on it. I would not separate them. No, slur it all together. At the end, the last 2 measures, you have that curvy line here. That's just one note at a time here. It's not rhythmic. It's done. It's just a rolled chord. And when I have this in the background, if this note is close to them, I do them all together. Like so. If this note were far away, I'd play it with the bottom note. Here. That's interpretation. You can play all 4 of these notes one at a time if you want. I'd play the bottom one on the beat. Different people interpret these squiggly lines different. These arpeggial marking, these curvy lines. Some people will play the top note on the beat, so they play that. You hold them all down, of course. Other people, like me, I play the bottom note on the beat. But as I said before, when all the notes in both hands are close together, then I treat it as one long one here. That's how I would suggest doing this one. Do it the way your teacher tells you to, but that's what I was doing. I was taught in college to play the bottom note on the beat most of the time. Now once I have the articulation in, then I think about the dynamics, and this applies to the right hand. Sort of soft. Here, this is soft. Measure 7, you get a crescendo, you're going to go out. Soft to measure 7, go up. It's each one of these. Soft, the first one, and then a little louder, a little louder, a little louder. Now I'm loud. Like so, I do it this way. You sort of let the music tell you where to do it and how to do it to get louder. And then suddenly you're back to soft like you were at the beginning. Measure 12, you get a crescendo again, going up to loud for measure 13. You can do the dynamics. Then the speed, Moderato's just in the middle. I tend to want to play this a little quicker, but then 1, 2, 3. So it's in the middle. You experiment with it, try different speeds out. It's not slow. But it's not, and it's not fast. No, it's in the middle somewhere. It's a range. It's not a set speed. What's the metronome marking? Don't know, and I don't care. It's in the middle somewhere. Feel it. And then they said add pedal. Isn't that sweet? And it's up to you on where you're going to use it, when, and why, and how, and blah. I'm not sure we're using pedal other than we want to enhance the sound. Maybe connect the notes, the repeated notes and these chords. Maybe that's why you're using pedal. You have to experiment with the pedal and see what the effect is. You learn it without pedal first. So when you add pedal, you can see what the effect is. So I'm going to push the notes down first and then the pedal. And the question is, when do I change the pedal? How much of this do I put in one pedal? You experiment. Try 2 measures and see. Now that's a little blurry. So how about 1 measure? Is that a little better? Yes, but is it right? I don't know. I don't like that. I like it. I don't like mushy melody. What I would do actually is I would simply not pedal in this till the second beat. I don't want this. So if I wait until I go here and then pedal, I don't get it. And I lift up on second measure. There, and measure 4. I don't want that. So I don't pedal it. And then measure 7. Pedal with the right hand. Like so. That's how I would do it. You don't have to do it that way. If it's too complicated, because I tend to complicate the pedal because I'm interested in the sound, then you pretty much got to do it according to the harmony, but change it on each measure. You could lift up for that so you don't smear it. So, and that would work if you want to try that. That's fine. Now at the end, the last measure 21 or so. I don't know. Again, it's effect. It's interpretation. If you want a smeary, foggy sound, you do that. Just smear it. Here, and then change it. And then change it. If you want a cleaner sound, then you got to pedal with the right hand. Here. And at the end, hold it down for the last 2 measures and everything comes up together. Yeah. It's a personal thing. How you pedal is interpretation. Your teacher will probably put in where they want you to pedal, and that's fine. Otherwise, you put it in. You write in the little line here, up and down and up where you want to pedal. That's it. That'll work. There is a vocal rit there on the end. Did you see that slow down a bit? You know, how much? Not much, just a little bit. How much? A little bit? I don't know, you feel it.